It's the Nerdgasm Podcast.
Do you bleed? Before you answer, just know that I don't give a f***.
And now,
Nerd Alert!
Alan Bailey and Stormin Norman.
It is the Nerdgasm Podcast!
Episode 77.
What up?
I don't know.
We have a guest in studio.
Do it. Who is it?
His name is Adam.
Just like Revan?
Adam Greven. He is the author of this book, The Knights Proper. He's going to be talking about that a little bit later on. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Get up on that mic for me because we have a lot to talk about. You are extremely tall, though.
I am.
Very tall.
I have to say that. You're just, I honestly, I met you a few times before this, and every time it was like, how are you? That's cool.
Do you look up to him?
I do. He's my hero.
That's the best part.
Cool show. If you haven't noticed, we're in studio.
Uh-huh.
You're seeing us for the first time, which is kind of crazy, Norman, because we haven't done this before.
No.
We've been talking behind the scenes about bringing cameras into the studio and recording us, and we bring a guest in the studio, and it was like, you know what, we're going to do it.
Oh, yeah.
And we've
He's
done
too
it.
pretty.
He is pretty.
He's too pretty.
He's a handsome boy. I'll admit that.
Boy.
A
There's
man.
something wrong with you.
He's a handsome man. But no, lots of stuff to cover on the program today. We will be talking about his book, but also just random notes. Tonight, actually, because it is Thursday, the 4th of August. I did that off the top of my head without actually looking at a calendar or my watch or phone.
Very
or
proud of
anything.
you.
So,
Very proud of you.
The phone, I did not use the phone for that. I just want to say that.
And just for everybody else out there, the calendar is that way, and we all saw him looking towards me.
Calendar's over here. I didn't look.
Wink.
I was right!
It is.
Yes! Okay, cool. Dang it, I just...
Also, if you look at the prep sheet.
Oh. See, now they get to see all my physical flubs because we have a lot of physical flubs in here, which is
I know we
interesting.
can't really do like the hand gestures that we used to.
Yeah, a lot of those and that's. And a theme we've been continuing to try to do the last few weeks, you might have noticed, is we've been trying to keep the podcast clean.
Yes.
And Norman, what is the final verdict on a clean Nerdgasm podcast?
I'm gonna say let's continue.
Really?
Yeah. You don't like that, do you?
I don't.
Well, hey, I mean,
We will
was-
attempt. We will attempt it.
It was brought up in the meeting, and people were saying that we can broaden the audience.
We left it
if we do
promiscuous.
that. Promiscuous.
Yes.
Very promiscuous.
I put a fancy word in there. I opened my thesaurus today. Look at me.
Word of the day
Oh.
is promiscuous,
Yes.
as in promiscuous girl.
But the internet's pissed at Suicide Squad, which might just lead us into the topic of our debrief. So,
Ruh-roh.
yeah. I don't know if you guys saw this, but basically reviews for the Suicide Squad movie hit the internet this week. The embargo was lifted, so reviews hit the internet. And on Rotten Tomatoes, 35%,
Ooh.
which is worse than, what was that movie? Spy Kids 2 or 3.
Oh, dear.
I think did better than this movie, Suicide Squad, which prompted one fan to start a petition on change.org to quote-unquote remove all evidence of Rotten Tomatoes from the internet.
Wow. Not gonna lie, I don't think that's really gonna happen because there's a lot of people that use Rotten Tomatoes, regardless of whether that site likes their movie or not.
And people are like, oh, I'm still going to go see it. And we're all nerds here. I think it's obvious we're all going to go see it.
Absolutely.
No matter what the review.
Yeah, and I mean, people are like, oh, don't let it sway your opinion. No, it's going to... I haven't seen the movie. I don't have an opinion on it yet. But once I watch it, I will, and I'm going with lower expectations than my already low expectations for this movie.
I mean, we had to do the same for Batman vs Superman, and mine were not low enough.
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say that I had fairly low, and they brought it low.
Oh yeah.
No one had low
Really
enough
good job at that.
expectations.
No.
It was just awful. Just awful. But basically, it got put up, and we got a good amount of reviews, actually, for it. Or a good amount of people signed it, actually. Something like, I think it was 20,000 or so before it was removed 2 days later.
Very nice.
So it actually did get some merit, I guess, if that's what you want to call it. But the guy who took it down said, who created it, he took it down and he basically said, yeah, I wasn't serious. But he kind of was.
Oh, yeah,
So.
of course. And on a happier note.
Mm-hmm.
Have I said happier?
No, you haven't.
Okay.
Say happier again.
Happier note.
Okay.
Fantastic Beats. Fantastic Beasts has a confirmed sequel.
We kind of knew that was coming. It wasn't official, but now they like greenlit it and gave it a start date or release date, I should say.
Yeah, 2018.
Awesome.
And David Yates is going to continue.
See, he just did an awesome job.
Oh, yeah.
Or he's an awesome director, I should say, and I've heard nothing but great things about Fantastic Beasts and where to find them. So I'm not a huge Harry Potter head, I mean, but I'm definitely looking forward to this movie just because I'm looking forward to seeing an alternate story away from the chosen one.
It really would be, but like I said before, I really think they need to find different music.
They can have the same music bed.
No!
What's wrong with the same music?
Let you know you're in the same series.
But
just in case.
But see, here's the deal.
Just in case.
If this is not a Harry Potter movie, they should not be having Harry Potter music. Because when you hear the music, you think Harry Potter. This is not Harry Potter. This is like, what, 20 years before Harry Potter?
But Harry Potter world. It's in the Harry Potter world.
So we should find a different song for the Harry Potter world, because it is the Wizarding World, not Harry Potter world. I mean, that's a theme park, isn't it? I'm just saying. That's just my view. You can sign the petitions at nerdgasmpodcast.com to remove me.
Remove Norman from the podcast. Has he said something that you don't agree with? Remove him, ban him, get him out now.
Oh wait, that was a joke.
Or was it? I can't tell. Oh, jeez. But we're big fans of Arrow. I know you're a season behind.
I'm catching up.
Okay. I can barely hear you. You gotta
one season. I gotta like move a whole bunch like that.
I know.
Yeah, I'm like one season behind. I'm waiting for season 4 on disc.
Yeah.
On disc.
I've got a month.
It'll be on Netflix here, I think, right before.
Sooner.
They wait for like a few days before the season starts. That way you have to binge in order to get it to work, I guess. But
like I need 3 days off. I'm gonna go crawl in the room and then I'm gonna watch TV.
yeah.
Yeah.
Long story short, we have season 5, which is kicking off here in October of Arrow, and confirmation Felicity will have a new boyfriend. OMG. So that'll be interesting. No details, but we do know that she will have a new lover in her life.
Boo.
A new boo.
As the youngins say now.
What is that term that the internet
I
coined
know,
them?
dude.
The allicity?
Oh yeah, Allicity is no more.
It isn't. Well, we don't know if it's no more. It's just not going to be a thing in season 5.
Or you know, it would be really annoying if they end up actually saying that just because it's Flashpoint, Oliver is not Oliver. He's, let's just say, a different name, and then they're going to say that that's the new boyfriend.
Oh, jeez.
That would
a
be really
stupid,
annoying.
Horrible cop out.
That would be
Horrible.
Yeah. Just.
And then also, Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. What do you think?
The
about
other book that everybody binged this
Oh,
week.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So what do you think about that thing?
I have not read it yet. I'm the one person that has it. There's a copy here in studio right up there.
Waiting for you.
My wife freaking binged that in less than, I want to say, 36 hours.
That's a beautiful thing.
And she said it was amazing. You've read the whole thing. Scale of 1 to 10 without going into details or spoilers.
Maybe a 5.
Wow.
I was not
Really?
a fan.
Wow.
Not a fan
5.
at all. Not a fan at all.
And here's where you go ahead and comment in the video
Right.
below
Hate-
or
hate
in
Adam.
the Adam,
You
you
can hate
suck.
Adam. You can hate Adam.
suck. We don't like him. But what about Cursed Child? What's going on?
Well, the end is actually the end of the Harry Potter story. Like, this will be the last and final. That is it. No more, no mas.
Didn't she say that about Deathly Hallows though?
But she was crossing her fingers in the interview. She was like this. And she was like, there will be no more Harry Potter stories after this.
I call bull.
I kind of see that too, because even Daniel Radcliffe, he kind of popped in and he said like he wouldn't mind popping in on the Beast one.
Oh, okay. Well, that'd be great if he had a cameo.
Oh yeah.
Ooh,
Because
I know exactly
I-
how
I-
they could do a cameo. I'm not going to say it for spoiler reasons.
well, isn't it the same thing as book 3 that you're thinking of?
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, for all the Potterheads or
Potheads?
potheads.
The potheads.
That's so bad.
I call them pot. Yeah. Let me ask you guys this: do either of you still have your Pokemon cards from back in the day?
Oh, I do.
In some deep dark corner in a box.
Me as well. Well, let me throw this out there. They are, because of Pokemon Go, they're being sold online right now, and they are actually catching a lot of money online right now. Right? And holograph cards are going for insane amounts of money, upwards of $5,000 and $10,000 per card. Let me ask you this, Norman. You got a holo Charizard?
I have 3.
Are you kidding me?
I'm serious.
You can rebuild this studio for what you're going to make off those, because those are going for about $5,000 now.
Or I could get a brand new car.
What are you going all Bob Barker prices right on us here?
No, I was kind of trying to channel the Drew Carey version.
You're first off gain 300 pounds, then lose it, and then have rape eyes. You'll be great. There you go.
Perfect.
Brilliant.
Right there.
Brilliant. And also you need a really long skinny microphone.
Yeah, I don't have that.
No.
Mine's too big.
Phrasing. Boom.
Hey, we have not dropped any inappropriate wording.
No, we haven't.
It's all phrasing.
It's all phrasing.
Language is better.
Exactly.
Stays the same.
Yeah, language phrasing, same thing. So,
So,
I love you.
And guess what?
What?
Arrow. We have news on Arrow. Going
like
back
this
to
is-
Arrow.
I feel like
I
you got
loved
it.
it.
You got your hands on this rundown, didn't you?
I might have.
Uh-huh.
I'm not gonna. I will neither confirm nor deny this.
Mhm.
Apparently, Flashpoint is confirmed to actually have an impact on the Arrow season.
Really?
Yes.
Hmm.
Duh.
Maybe the new Felicity boyfriend has something to do with this
I really hope.
Flashpoint verse.
You know, it would actually be kind of cool if they make her like super happy and they're about to get married, and all of a sudden Barry fixes everything and like, no more.
God, what if she is married? Or what if she gets
Ooh.
engaged and she's super happy? Oh, man. Just saying, something in the Flashpoint I want to see. I want to see Green Arrow and Black Canary not only partners on the street,
Yes.
but in the sheets.
Okay.
They are in the books!
Yes, but we've never seen in the sheets. I don't necessarily.
I don't want to see
I
in the
think that-
sheets. I just want to see them being a couple is what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
I'm totally down for that.
I just had phrasing like
yeah.
written all over that.
Exactly.
I had to throw that out
Had
there.
to,
So
had to.
yeah, I had to. So I'm Alan Bailey,
Stormin Norman.
and that is your Debrief Nerds, as well as our friend Adam here on camera. So I have to flat out ask you, first book that you have written, what were your challenges with this book? Because it's not like one day you sat down and went, done. Book.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
Definitely not
That's
That
how
would
it
be-
that would
works
be
from now
great.
on.
That
Just
would be great.
you hit the keyboard with your face like 5 or 6 times, and an amazing piece of work comes out of it.
That's gonna be the story from now on. I just slapped the computer for a while. It gave me what I wanted.
My cat walked across the keyboard and wrote this brilliant book. That's how Twilight was written.
Oh my goodness.
No, actually,
No
the cat
doubt.
took a dump on the keyboard,
There
and
you
that's
go.
how that was written.
That
so.
actually makes more sense. I think that's a better story. I think it's a much better story.
Edward Cullen was actually created by a furball.
But I mean, where did you initially start to pull inspiration from this book? Because this is, I think you described it as like,
Sons of
Son-
Anarchy and a little bit
yeah.
of Walking Dead, I think.
Yeah, so the best way we've been describing to most people is sort of that tagline is a medieval Walking Dead meets Sons of Anarchy with just like a touch of magic. We really didn't want to get out of control with the magic side of it. We want it really subtle. So,
Nice.
but I mean, it's there, but we don't want you thinking Gandalf's going to show up with his
With his raw
with his
destiny.
staff and reverse the world time continuum and all
so
that kind
when,
of stuff.
when does Harry Potter show up?
Right? When does that happen? When does that cross over? So not first published book. I had written a book before, which kind of helped me get into this one in the first place. So I had done like a god-awful 50, 60,000 words. So I'd already gotten like through that push, that challenge before.
Of long form
That just
writing.
long, constant writing. Night Proper actually started off as a screenplay. As you can see, I don't know if you can see it there, but I have a co-writer, Matt Deller. He's a screenwriter. He's actually got a movie just coming out in England called Manhattan Undying.
Wow.
Yeah, I heard about that.
So, and that's doing pretty well on Amazon and all that out in England. So we're happy about that. But this started off as a screenplay, and people were interested, but not super interested. And so he finally just kind of started asking, like, so what's the deal? Like, come on. Like, I keep getting ahas, but no signatures. Like, what's going on? And their big thing is with fantasy, it's got to be written in a book first. They like to try and sell movies through the books. So we had passed stories back and forth. I'd send him short stories, the book I'd written. He sent screenplays, and he made that offhand comment like, I need someone like you to like who has patience to write through a book. And
Okay.
I'm like, oh, okay,
Right
cool.
on.
So I had the screenplay, and I cranked out like a first chapter that morning. I was like, my style already, kind of stuff, but something like this, and just went from there. It was like half hour after that, like, hey, I got my managers on the line. And
Oh wow.
do you really want to do this? Because I really want to do this. He was...
Very cool.
It's his baby. That screenplay was his baby. He's real into the story. So
And
that's
how,
where it started.
How long ago did you guys actually have that conversation? Like, was it a year ago, 2 years ago?
It was, so we just found out, now that it's published, we started looking, I was like, it's 3 years ago.
Really?
Wow.
When the first talks started happening, where I was like, maybe we're going to do this, to paper signing, to writing the book. The book took a year, just a solid year of... We'd touch base once a week. We'd each kind of have our own chapter and swap, and like, I like this, I don't like that,
Okay.
back and forth. And then the trying to get published thing started, and that was like another year and a half.
Yeah.
It's slower than the writing, if you can believe it.
Very long process.
So much slower.
I mean,
so much slower.
You have a 9 to 5, as do we, and this was kind of like a side pet project for you. So was it just months and months and months of coming home after work and just staying up till 1 a.m, just writing, or was this just a process where you just went into a closet and you just closed yourself from the world and you were like,
magic
leave me
closet.
alone?
We just can't avoid Harry Potter this afternoon.
No.
we just can't do it.
Unintentional,
It's
completely
it's all in the back of
unintentional.
the head. It's all just in the back of the head. Yeah, it's a lot of, especially with the job, it was real hard. And Matt emphasized, he was like, look, I'm sorry, because he screenwrites, so he's like, that is my job. I get to just stay at home and work on that stuff. He's like, you're the guy that's got to come home from a long day of work and like clear your head and be like, don't be mad anymore, do your thing. So I just kind of took Stephen King gave really good advice. He's like, just put out 500 words a day, like even if it's garbage. He's like, you got to sit down and write out 500 words a day, get the idea out. So I kind of went with that philosophy on the days I worked. Was I got to come home. I did more than 500 because we knew we had so much more to get through. So I was probably doing about 1,000 words or so a day.
Very nice.
On the work days, and then non-work days were 3,000 or 4,000, depending on if we knew where we were going.
Right.
Otherwise, you kind of sit there and like, well, I could watch some TV.
Now it's starting to make
I can
sense
make
why
a
you're.
sandwich. A
It's
sandwich sounds good.
It's making sense why you're a few seasons back on TV shows now.
Oh, yeah.
You've been kind of busy the last few years.
Kind of busy, yeah.
Well, I mean, the way you describe it, it makes me believe that you might be a little bit of a Sons of Anarchy fan.
Kind of a
maybe
huge,
a little bit.
was a huge. I have to say, I was a huge.
Yeah, well,
it's over. Plus, I stopped being a fan after the 5th season.
Oh.
I'm that guy.
So,
I'm that guy.
So without going into too much of the Sons of Anarchy, what were some of the elements that you kind of took from them a little bit?
So the Knights themselves, we had to come up with sort of like an organizational format. How do they function as a group?
Right.
And I took ideas from sort of that MC world of they're brutal, but they're real democratic. So everything gets solved with a vote. Everything gets discussed. At least that's the way the group started. And when we jump into the story, that's kind of de-evolved into a monarchy, and they have their Night Lord, and what the Night Lord says pretty much goes.
Okay.
So there's definitely rumblings within the group that's like, we missed the days of when we had a word. We got to say what's going on. We're not super happy about the war we're in, and the guys were losing. But Renton over here, he's like, no, we gotta do this. So it slowly kind of works its way towards figuring out, do we need to go back to that format again?
Right.
So yeah, the way they're organized, I think, is the big Sons of Anarchy draw. I like the idea that they're not outlaws, but they're a brutal group of guys, and like, how do you how do you make decisions with a group of guys where testosterone's always up here all the time?
Yeah.
You know, how do
Yeah.
you settle them down and figure it out? So I took kind of a lot of things from that
Nice.
area.
Well, you look at Sons of Anarchy. I wouldn't necessarily let my nephews watch Sons of Anarchy. So, is this a book that my nephews could read, or is it like something?
How old are your nephews?
They're in their teens.
Oh yeah, no
It's-
problem.
This is like a teenager book. It's
Yeah, totally.
It's clean, for lack of a better
Yeah,
word.
there's a little bit of language.
Okay.
Matt kept me from
So, like-
getting really dark.
So like,
How many emails I got with no, we're
Know
not
that.
doing we're not doing that. No, we can't do that.
So like, ass is the
Alright.
most like worst word in it, right? Like,
I think it says bitch once. I think that maybe as far as we go. I don't remember. We really didn't. Yeah, when you're angry and you're writing and it's all over
yeah.
the place, but then we edited a lot of it out.
so like for like a kid in school who's got to do a book report, not a bad one.
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
Yeah, 15 and up,
Nice.
even 14, I think. Totally. You could, especially with the stuff you're seeing in the teen,
Oh, yeah.
the teen section these days.
I mean, you're
Very
seeing some pretty
teen.
raunchy stuff. I mean, I've seen plenty of like elementary kids, like they're trying to read the Twilight stuff, and
Or Hunger Games.
Yeah.
And like that
Yeah.
visceral violence. Even we don't get that crazy.
Yeah.
And again, yeah, you see like elementary school. Sure, you want to be reading that? That's kind of crazy.
there's better books out there.
Kinda crazy. You can work your way into it. You don't have to ruin it right now. It's okay.
Very cool. Well, I know that like you have kind of like been out of the world for the last couple of years. I mean, like not that cruelly, but like you're kind of like catching up on Arrow, catching up on Flash. So I need to know, where are you in Flash? Where are you in Arrow?
So in Arrow, I just finished up season 3, the whole driving to the sunset scene. You're like, well, that's not gonna last long. That can't last long.
There's another season.
Yeah.
Series end right there, please.
Right, it looked like a series, and you're like, but I know there's another season because I'm waiting for it. And then Flash, yeah, I'm like about halfway, 3/4 of the way
Okay.
through the first season.
What just happened in season
What
one
did
for
just
you?
happen? We're still suspicious of our doctor friend. We're starting to get that like, well, that's kind of weird because he just got attacked by, I'm gonna remember his name.
Reverse.
His house shattered.
Oh yeah.
No, the doctor.
Yeah.
Why can't it with Dr. Wells, right?
Dr.
Wells,
Wells, yeah.
His house gets attacked,
Right.
and you meet the guy that helped work on the program. that
His
warned him.
protege.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That warned him like, hey, there's a big chance that this could go wrong, and he was like, to hell with you. I don't care.
I remember that.
Yeah. So we're right there. So like the suspicions are
Definitely there.
starting, and I know
Yeah.
he must find him because obviously ahead in Arrow, like Flash comes and rescues him, and he's
Right.
like, I have to have a serious talk with Dr. Wells. I'm like, oh, okay, well he must figure it out in the first season, so that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's yeah, it's gonna get very interesting. I'm not gonna spoil it because I remember watching that season 1 going, well, how are they gonna do this? What's going on? Who's who? What's going on? And then once everything gets revealed, you're like, that was pretty good.
Yeah, and that's I think what's kept me in the show. Like Barry isn't really kept me in the show. That sort of side mysteries on that you're watching. You're like, no, but I want to know what happens to him, and like, what the heck is that? Like, I
Right.
don't know what that is. So that was cool.
You're
that
gonna
the main character isn't always what keeps you.
you're gonna end season 1 and go season 2,
Right,
'Cause
like
it's-
right now. I get it right
it's
now.
Season 1 finale of Flash definitely has that cliffhanger that's just really awesome, and then season 2 picks up more or less where it left off, and it's like, okay,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. This is going to drastically sway my opinion of you as a person,
Oh.
and as a nerd. What did you think of Man of Steel?
Oh my goodness.
I wasn't a huge. Okay, so we have to start with a little backstory. I'm not the biggest Superman fan.
Really? Okay.
Yes, as I tell you as you drink
Okay.
from your mug.
I
Yes,
like
as you
this
drink.
Superman, by the way. This classic Superman, and not the Zach verse.
Yeah, so going into it, I wasn't talking about high hopes. Didn't.
Right.
I'm like, whatever happens is whatever happens. I'm cool. And yeah, Man of Steel. I want to make sure I'm not getting it mixed up. That's where he kills. At the end.
Zod.
Yeah, where he kills Zod at the end. And when that happens, I was like, oh, that's not Superman though.
Ooh.
Like I'm not even a
Yeah.
Superman fan, and that's not Superman.
Yeah.
You know, Batman may cross that line, but you know, like Superman, that's not him. So I understand. I had a lot of friends that were not happy with it, especially once they got to the end. They were just like, but that's not him.
Yeah.
So I'd have to agree on that point.
Yeah.
But Superman, I could give or take.
Right.
You
Yeah.
saw what is it? You saw Batman v Superman, I'm assuming.
Unfortunately, yes.
Everyone's consensus.
Unfortunately, yes.
And I don't even think I need to ask you. Not a fan?
So I felt lied to, like on the previews. Because you're watching previews and I'm like, finally, like Superman's going to be interesting. He's going to be that bad guy. He's going to finally lose it. And then you find out they're all dreams. And you're like, oh, well, that was extremely lame. Yeah. Extremely lame. I actually liked Ben Affleck as Batman. I actually really liked him. And throughout the movie, you're kind of like, could I just get a Batman movie now?
Right.
Like, could this just be Ben Affleck playing Batman? Could we just do that? That would be cool.
In my head, to help me cope with how bad that movie was, I just keep telling myself it was a Batman movie with a Wonder Woman cameo and a Superman cameo. Mm-hmm. That's what that movie was.
And she was cool. I really liked her. I just saw the preview for that, and I'm really excited about that. Her and Chris Pine. I think that's going to be really cool.
Yeah, so.
And I mean, for the most part, like, a lot of people have kind of said exactly what you said. I mean, once Wonder Woman kind of popped in, a lot of people kind of say the movie got infinitely better. Mm-hmm. And then once the whole fight kind of calmed down a little bit, they were just kind of like, okay, well, now it's just like meh.
Yeah, and the fight scene was cool. I mean, we all know that awkward scene at the end of the fight scene that ends it all.
Why did you say that name?
The best friends scene. You're just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it was.
So it had its parts. I thought visually it looked really cool.
I love what Honest Trailers did this week. They came out with a Watchmen, how it should have ended. And if you actually watch The Watchmen, it's like the director's extended ultimate whatever, will give you a cookie cut, whatever they called it. They actually included a scene with two characters that have nothing to do with the plot. They're just literally average Joes who hate each other throughout the whole movie in the two scenes they were in. Literally. And they're like, hey, I don't even know your name. What's your name? Oh, so-and-so. That's my name. We know where Zach got it from. Including the same two names. I'm just saying. Honest Trailers pointed that out. It was a prelude to Batman vs. Superman. It makes sense now.
Mystery solved.
I loved that little cameo.
I'm so glad that we figured that out.
Yeah.
Now, one of the questions that I actually wanted to get back to your book about, for all the people that are out there and they're kind of like wondering, what is it mostly about? Like, can you give us like a really quick summary?
like the 5-second breakdown.
Yes.
So the big story really is, and you know it's in the back here, but the big story is really about a father and daughter trying to reconnect.
Okay.
That's what motivates most of it. That's where the book starts. That's where the book ends, is trying to figure out that situation. And then the rest of it is just that cool world where we're raising the dead again, you know, in that classic magic way, which is a big motivation for Matt and I, because we're like, we love zombies, but we're kind of tired of like that disease thing. Can we go back to necromancy? Can we go back to voodoo? Can we do something like that? So those are the cool, like, visual things, I guess.
Right.
But the story, the hardcore story in there is the father-daughter reconnection story.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And is there a character that you kind of identify with more a little bit?
I don't know if I identify with anyone in particular. I have like my favorites that I liked writing.
Okay.
For sure. Like one I created for the story. She wasn't in the screenplay, but I wanted Mila, our heroine, to have sort of a devil and an angel. So she has her advisors, Elaine and Acacia, and Acacia is definitely the devil, and she's just really fun to write. We've talked about writing a second book, and I really want to put some focus on those kinds of characters. So yeah, I don't identify with Acacia, I would say, but she's a whole lot of fun to write. And Cast, our bard, was a lot of fun to write. She's just this really snarky tomboy kind of character, and she was a lot of fun to write for sure. Yeah, I know Matt's connections for sure. Mila was kind of modeled off of his daughter, where he saw like his daughter in the future. Yeah, and that led to some interesting arguments with things I want to do with the book. So, yeah, first fight was, no, you can't do that. No, why can't I do that? That's my daughter. Okay. I'm very sorry. I should have had that warning.
So
terribly sorry.
The characters in this book are inspired by real people, not based off of
partially them. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Definitely the main characters. You know, Edwin and Mila are definitely based off of people Matt knows, people Matt cares about, and then a lot of the sub characters were people I created to accommodate them to try and
enhance. I would
try and flesh out the main characters with these kind of side characters. So that was a lot of fun for me too, because then I didn't have to mess with his story so much, and I got to add my own kind of thing in there.
Very cool.
So that's where that partnership worked out really cool.
Was it hard just doing the back and forth with, I want to do this, and he didn't want you to mess with his character? Because, I mean, you're essentially taking another person's creation, and you're kind of... It's like somebody took this really cool piece of clay and turned it into this really cool sculpture, but you're like, no, I want to add to it, and let me manipulate it a little bit, and make it cooler, Was there that tension between you guys?
No, I would say probably 90% we actually had a really good writing relationship. A lot of the times, it was, I didn't think of that. Because we were both coming at it from different points of view. There were the few, like the Mila development, when I first came out with that idea, that was a very stern conversation that we had. That's not happening. Well, nope, there's no convincing. That's not happening.
Not a chance.
Not happening. And, there was a few character twists I did that took some coaxing. That well, but if you look at it, But yeah, for the most part, we bounced off each other pretty well. If one saw something visually, the other one saw the dialogue better, and vice versa. So from that standpoint, those meetings and stuff went really well. Yeah.
And he's over in England, correct? That's where he's based out?
No,
of,
so Matt's actually down the freeway from here.
Really?
He lives in Anaheim.
Okay.
He's fairly local.
Okay, so you guys actually did face-to-face, and it wasn't just awkward phone calls.
Yeah. So we did, a lot of Skyping.
Okay.
Because then you can bring up your documents, and you're looking at them, and stuff like that, when we couldn't meet up between my work, his meetings, all that kind of stuff. So a lot of Skype sessions, got used to that. But he's really local.
Okay, that was good.
He's his movie's releasing in England because they want to market it there.
Okay.
But and hopefully we hear an American release soon.
Yeah.
Haven't heard a date on that one yet, but
knock on wood.
Yes, right? Because it's so fun.
Yeah. Is there plans for a sequel to this book, book 2 for this? Or
there is. I've got an outline already. It'll be something we've already discussed. I'll probably be taking more of a lead on the second book. This is definitely more of a kind of a 50-50 project. Where I want to take it, for one thing, is definitely more my thing than it is his thing anyway.
Right.
And he's going to be there for approval.
Yes.
No. Maybe.
You don't want to do what to her? No, don't let her. No, that doesn't happen to her. No.
Right, that can't happen. So there are plans for a sequel and a third.
Really?
So it would end with a third if we got to do that. I would be ecstatic if we got to do that for sure. But definitely already an outline for the second one and sort of an idea of what we want to do with the third one. But and I'm excited because I get to take a little more of a lead on that, so we don't have to, less of the mashup and more of the I get to do what I want kind of thing.
Well, we know that there is a screenplay of this already written, and that existed before the book. You guys are shopping it around right now, I take it, or looking for anybody who's interested?
Yeah. So we're tweaking the screenplay because obviously we made some big story changes too. So we're putting those into the screenplay. The cool company that we're getting published with Inkshares is a subgroup of Ingram. So Ingram's like the big daddy publisher,
right?
And Inkshares like a subgroup of them, and it's sort of a crowdfunding way of doing it. So we got to show that we've got people interested. So if we show X amount of number that have willing to put some money down, willing to say, hey, I want this book when it comes out, then you start going into that print situation. Right. So they are also sort of handling some of the screenplay stuff. We bring them in. They're already in. But they're part of that process. But for sure, we've already got people shopping on the screenplay and reading and stuff like that. So that's real exciting and would be the motivation for a sequel for sure.
Very cool.
If we can get that picked up, and it's, you got the backing, you got the support for it. So that would be really cool. And definitely move forward.
If I want a copy of it, how do I get it right now, today?
So if you wanted it today, you can pre-order it on Amazon. You can pre-order on bn.com, which is barnesandnoble.com. Or you can pre-order in a Barnes & Noble store. You just let them know you want the night proper. They're going to put the order in and ships to the store for you, and you pick it up when it comes out, or if it's already out, once we get past August 9th, which is its release date, it takes a week.
Okay.
And it's all yours. And then, of course, the more people we can get to order the book and be interested in the book, then the stores start carrying it on a more regular basis, and it won't be an order thing anymore.
Very cool.
So that will be cool. And on that note, at Barnes & Noble in Chino Hills, if anyone's free on the 13th, Matt and I will be there doing a signing of the books.
Very cool.
They're going to be carrying many copies. So we will have many copies for everybody. So it'll be there, and then that'll definitely be one of our supporting stores for sure.
Very cool.
Because we'll have some sales in there already.
And it's a paperback, and it's fairly reasonable in price, I'm assuming?
Yes, yeah. So it's that trade paper, and it's $13.99.
You
So
can't beat that.
I know.
comparatively, I mean, you get a lot of trade papers for like 16 to 18.
Yeah, it was like, I never got that personally.
Yeah. So you get the real nice paper and the bigger text and everything, and only $13.99.
There you go.
Not bad at all.
I can do that.
Is it available digitally right now?
Yes, it is
Oh, very
available
cool.
digitally. I believe our now going price is like $7.99
Oh wow.
for the e-reader.
For those of you who hate paper and just love everything on a computer screen that will eventually make you blind.
Just need that bright light.
I need that bright light to show me the pretty. Look at the pretty. I gotta ask, who did the cover? Because this is just a great. This is a great illustration.
So it was
very
cool when we found the guy. It was Brian. I gotta pull his name back up again. It's been a while since we've talked because we did the cover art almost a year ago now.
Really?
Yeah, it was a
Wow.
while ago.
See, I'm not an author, so I don't know how the book industry works at all.
It's really slow.
Apparently,
Just as a heads up to everybody, it's very slow.
Is there a lot of silent brooding?
There is actually a lot of silent brooding. There's quite a bit of that, actually. Where are my acknowledgments? Here we go. Yeah, it frustrated Matt, too, because in the screenplay world, I mean, that
Instant.
moves.
Yeah.
That's someone's reading you in a week, you know whether you're garbage or you're pick it up.
Oh
Like,
wow.
Yeah.
super quick. And then from there, it'll slow down. But you get your yes-no answer fairly quick,
Yeah.
from what I've gathered. The books, you get them... First, you got to get a yes or no as to whether they'll read it. And then if they say yes, wait 3 to 6 months. We'll get back to you.
Huh.
Yeah.
If you don't hear from us, don't bother us. Until like that 8-month period.
Then call us.
Then maybe send us an email as a reminder.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Brian Garabrandt.
Okay.
Nice.
He is awesome. He was super easy to work with. Even, you know, obviously we're the authors, so we're a little picky about can ya,
Everything.
and can ya, and he was real good about.
Everything.
Seriously, guys, he was real good about not being that way. He's like, yeah, no, totally, okay, we can do that. Yeah, he worked with us really well, so he was very cool, and pretty stoked that they're now, of course, we're published, so his work gets to be on a book, and
Yeah, no kidding.
we get to show him off and stuff like that. So very cool.
Definitely come out to Chino Hills and Barnes and Noble
Wait.
next Saturday, which is the
13th
13th. I looked. I
calendar
cheated. I
calendar
cheated.
check calendar
I
check.
cheated. I can cheat once in a while, okay? But yeah, I'm actually excited because I've read some of the book, but not all of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking forward to actually reading the whole thing when it comes out because I want the physical copy. I'm the crazy guy
yeah.
who prefers the physical copy over like the paperback stuff that you just never actually get to read. So
Now, see, this is
Can't
gonna
argue
never
with
get to
that.
hold. I should say.
this is gonna be really weird, but really weird. But I love having the physical copy only because you actually have something to hold.
Yeah, like you sent us actually like a preview which was digital and I hated it. Not the book. I loved the book.
I hated
just-
the electronic.
I hated
having
the electronic. I have to sit here and look the tiny screen and I have to sit just it was it
And
I
you don't
don't
get
know
to
how people
turn
do it.
pages.
Yeah.
Flipping. Yeah.
Maybe I'm
No.
old school. I don't know. I guess
That whole catharsis of
A
having
little bit.
yeah, I like the book
that
smell.
piece there.
I like to smell my
The
book.
smell of the book is actually kind of cool.
It actually is very pleasant.
I know.
So
And the cover's so soft.
that and I like to
It's so
I
nice.
you know, guy who worked in the film industry, so I use actual film as my bookmarks because I can. And I like there's just something to it where I follow the lines and like I get to like if it's my copy, I'm the guy who circles stuff and like will go back and read stuff if I don't understand it and put like little post-it notes in
Like
there.
that studious reader.
Yeah, and I can't do that with a digital copy.
You're
not
gonna be
really.
that guy in the crowd that's got the really crazy question where you're like, hold on a second.
On page 337,
You get paragraph 2 and you're like,
paragraph 2, 3, line 3, and you're like, you're sitting there going, uh-huh.
yeah. Or I'm just being like, Matt, I think that was you. No, I'm sure it was you. I'm positive it was you.
I didn't
No, it's
write
you.
that page. He did.
It's
Ask
totally him. Yeah, that's a him question. Go ask him. That's Matt.
Whoa, what word was it? Was it word 63 or 62? Because I said word 62.
I added the. Yeah, the
Was
right
that your
there.
complaint?
That was me, and I'm sorry if you hated it. I'm terribly sorry.
Oh, man. But, no, definitely check out the book. It's a pretty good read. The website again, sir? to purchase it, just besides Barnes & Noble?
So BarnesandNoble.com, Amazon.com, or if you go to Inkshares.com, you just type in the night proper, and they'll ship directly from the publisher.
Very good. Well, thank you for bringing the book in and talking about it.
Thank you for having me.
We're going to continue the show, and he's going to sit here, and we're going to ignore him. No,
I'm going to nod a lot.
We're
Yes.
not going to
Silent
do
brooding.
that.
Yes.
I do want to ask you this: are you playing Pokemon Go?
Oh dear.
I'm officially not playing Pokemon Go.
Officially.
I'm terribly sorry, and I apologize. Yeah, no.
How dare you?
He's so offended.
You're the
I loved the Game Boy game, and I loved the cartoon when I was a kid. I just no. I don't do like cell phone games though. I just don't.
All right.
Generally speaking, I just don't.
See, like, this is something we've talked about on the show, and I might have peaked on this game
Peaked.
a couple of weeks ago. My interest level
Oh,
on
okay.
this game. It might have peaked, but let's go ahead and actually get on into it. Randy, good sir, can you play the Thunder, please? As
Pokey stops and pokey gyms. Well, I have a suggestion for you. Why don't you go to a real fucking gym and catch a fucking games at you?
The Pokemon looked at me, he said, why you trying to catch Pokemon? It's so late. And I said, cause it's Pokemon Go. And he said, no, Pokemon go to sleep.
All this bullshit. Stop acting like you're 12 years old.
The song is, gotta catch 'em all. You know, the song ain't gotta catch some of them. That don't even sound right.
Pokemon Go. Pokemon Go, fuck yourself.
so angry.
I know. It's almost like a guilty pleasure now.
A little bit. As we look at some of the news that's happening with Pokemon Go here, Pokemon started doing something. The game itself started doing something this week that I'm applauding, yet cursing simultaneously because it affected my wife.
Oh.
There are certain people and accounts that are actually hacking their phones and rooting their phones in order to make their appearance show up at random gyms or Pokestops or anywhere in the world that a rare Pokemon is released. And systematically, Pokemon Go is going through finding those users and deleting their accounts.
Aha.
They're not getting an email saying your
Busted.
account was deleted. You will just go to log in and it'll be gone.
Just no longer
Your
viable.
Your fix is no longer available.
It's gone. And I mean, we talked about it. Like, some people rooted
Right.
their phone because they're disabled and they're in a wheelchair and can't, or what have you, and can't get around to play the game. If you email Pokemon Go creators, they'll actually send you a version of the game that you can download that actually has the Pokemon and free stuff come to you. So there's that, but you have to prove that you're disabled in some way, shape, or form. So people were saying, well, what about them? Well, they were taken care of a while
yeah.
ago. You're just
Yeah.
cheating.
Yeah.
And you just want to continue to do that. Don't do that.
Just being lazy.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
So that was the biggest thing in the update that came out this week that everybody lost their minds over, because apparently now different Pokemon attacks are at different levels to make it more fair. And the biggest change of all, Norman, is actually not being able to see precisely where the Pokemon are.
No more tracker.
Wait, so if you're driving around,
Well,
or if you're walking, if you're walking around,
I don't Pokemon and drive. What are you
no,
talking
no,
about?
Absolutely not.
I was joking. It was a joke. So if you're walking around and let's say like there's a Pokemon right over here, it's not just gonna like pop up on your little sensor.
No, it'll pop up on the game, but you know how you used to see like the shadow or the figure of like a Snorlax, and you'd see that it's like 3 steps away.
Oh,
and
I
you
never even
basically-
listened to that.
You should have. It was
never-
correct. It was highly correct.
I didn't even listen to
No,
it.
it wasn't. You were totally good. You were totally good.
They
I
removed that
would
feature.
take 3 steps in one direction. It would be like now you're 4 steps away. I'm like, I don't get it.
They basically removed that feature, and now it's just it shows the Pokemon within a certain distance of you in no particular order whatsoever. So it's a lot more random now, and
Okay.
people are not happy about that.
Well, I mean, it kind of takes away that whole hint. It's like, oh, you're going in the right direction. You're going in the right direction. You passed him.
Yeah.
Now it's just you're playing the game, and yes, there are Pokemon on it.
Exactly.
Good luck.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no
Go
grass
for it.
area that you have to like go through, and
No.
I mean, you can't just swim
Yeah.
and find Pokemon.
Yeah. So it's a lot of mixed reviews on it. Let's just say, let's put it that way.
Well, one of the updates that I do actually like was just the fact that they threw something else on there as well. as soon as you load up the game, still the same background. Still tells you to be aware and pay attention to your surroundings and everything like that, because people clearly don't read that. Well, before they can actually play the game, it says that exact same thing again, and then you have to click OK, and then you can play it.
Yeah.
Which I kind of like, because there's a lot of, let's just say it, morons out there.
Oh, you mean the girl who walked into traffic and got hit by a car because she wasn't
Exactly, and then she was trying to sue Pokemon Go.
She literally walked into the street without looking for any vehicles, got hit. Thank goodness she was okay for the most part.
Yes.
And then blamed the game for making her walk into traffic.
You can't blame the game. I mean, I know this is probably a little bit of a stretch for like the whole comparison thing, but it's like blaming the gun.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's actually pretty accurate. It's not my fault I shot myself in the foot. It's this gun maker's fault. It made the bullet. I put it in the gun and pulled the trigger, but it's the gun maker's fault.
I did all the actions leading up to.
Exactly.
But it wasn't me. I swear.
I mean, there's clearly a user error there. So.
Little bit. Little tiny one.
Tiny bit.
Yeah. So yeah. As far as where I am, I don't want to say I stopped playing, but I just haven't been playing this last week, so I'm still
not as much.
I'm on like 14, level 14, almost 15.
I'm trying to find a gym that I could actually take.
Right?
Because everyone's like at 1,000. I'm like, my highest is 660, and I'm like, hi guys.
How are you?
I did find one that was like level 200, and it was too far away from me, and I wasn't gonna take like the 10 steps to get closer.
I did not want the exercise.
No.
I was at work. I was like, okay, at my other job, they put up a post and it says, Pokemon Go is no longer allowed to be played here, and if we happen to see you playing it, then we will gladly give you the free time to go play it when you will be fired.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, dang.
And you were playing?
No. I mean, no. I'm gonna go with no.
It was totally before the rule. Totally before the rule.
Well, see, I gotta get there at like 5 a.m. in the morning, so
nobody notices.
Exactly.
Nice.
So
nice. My work hasn't caught on yet, thank goodness. They think, oh no, we're above that.
Wink, wink.
Yes, we're all mature adults. Wink. My eye is gonna be all like crappy with all these winks that I got. I got a twitch. Yeah, I don't know. Pokemon Go, definitely it's losing the daily users.
Yeah.
Reportedly, the whole reason that they removed the precise location of Pokemon is because it was putting a strain on the actual server. Get that?
Well, that's okay.
Officially, no legendary Pokemon have been released.
Right on.
So anybody that has one is either making a fake video or they've hacked the game, in which case they're going through and deleting those accounts and taking the legendaries away.
Well, someone caught The Rock.
Somebody did a spoof video on The Rock, and the thing that I love is when you're trying to catch The Rock Amon or whatever it's called, he's taunting you like, that's all you got? Come on. And they're taking clips from his shows and movies and stuff, and is that all you got? Come on. Do you smell it? Like, it's amazing. I want to be a Pokemon. Is that weird to say out loud?
A little bit.
I want to be wanted by millions of people for no other reason than my ability to battle and fight and kill other creatures.
And live in a ball.
Live
in a ball.
It is kind of curious to like, how is it like living in that ball?
Somebody did a cartoon where it's like Charmander and he's just chilling on like in like a study that looks somewhat like Beauty and the Beast type library with like thousands of books, and he's got a little coat and little pipe and little monocle, like little glasses on and everything. He's just sitting there like reading a book, fire going, then all of a sudden everything starts moving a little bit, and then he gets thrown out of this ball and he skids to a stop on his face. It's pretty much how it's got to be for those little guys.
You ruined my calm evening. I was having such a delightful time.
I was just chilling in my study, and then all of a sudden scraping his face to a stop.
I think some of those videos are called Poke Awesome if you want to check them out.
Might have to do that. But I don't know about you. Gonna go watch Suicide Squad tonight. You guys?
Eventually, yeah.
Is it on your eventually list?
It's on my weekend to-do list.
It's on my list as well. Wife and I are going tonight, premiere night, on Thursday night here. I gotta tell you, the thing that I noticed about a couple of movies that premiere on Thursday. We're Thursday night go at like the first available showtime because we want to see it ASAP. Moviegoers. We went to see Ghostbusters a few weeks ago at 7 o'clock. It was the first showtime. They only had a 7 o'clock and a 10 o'clock. And neither one really sold out. It was pretty empty. Suicide Squad has, at our theater, has a 6, a 6:30, a 7, a 7:30, an 8, an 8:30, and just it continues on like that until 1 a.m.
Not a big shock, though.
It's like... It's disappointing because apparently Ghostbusters critically is better than Suicide Squad, reportedly.
Well, I mean, also, like, we've talked about this before, like, critics look at movies differently than fans.
Oh, yeah.
Because there were, I hate to say it, there were some fans out there that did enjoy Batman vs. Superman. There's a lot of concern whether they're true fans or not, but...
See, the people that like Batman vs. Superman... I think that they're incredibly blind by their love for these characters, which I love these characters too. Don't get me wrong here. I love Superman. I love Batman. I love Wonder Woman. I love the Justice League. I like the Justice League more than the Avengers, but cinematically, I like the Avenger movies better than this really shitty Dawn of Justice movie.
They had a huge plan right from the beginning, and they're doing it absolutely right.
Yeah, so... We're reserving judgment on Suicide Squad just because we haven't seen it. We don't know. Like, you can't judge a movie before you see it, or anything for that matter. So, I've read basically the first 30 or so pages of this book, what you sent, and I loved it. I'm like, oh, let me pick it up and go. Like, I really want to read more of it. But if I'm 10 minutes into Suicide Squad and I'm not enjoying myself, I'm not gonna walk out. I'm gonna sit there through the whole thing.
Yeah.
You know, so. I don't know. Watch the movie, judge it for yourself. But if you're a fan of Batman vs. Superman, which A, prove it, or explain your logic, and or go check yourself into Arkham.
That's very true.
It's fair. I'm excited to see Harley Quinn on the big screen because I never in my lifetime thought we would see that ever. No. Nevertheless, her and Joker on the big screen in a scene. Nor have I ever thought that I'd see Batman as a third character.
Yeah.
Ever. When was that ever going to happen?
Yeah,
Never.
When did he ever start taking a backseat to anybody?
Yeah, even when, and I really hope this isn't true, but when they announced this, I jokingly thought, watch the animated Escape from Arkham movie is going to be better than this movie. Really hope that's not the case, because it's essentially the same movie from what I'm gathering from trailers and what I've seen of that movie already. So
like here's my hesitation with the Suicide Squad, and I don't know, maybe I'm nitpicking, but like for me, like Harley Quinn, like yeah, when they first said Suicide Squad, yes, Harley Quinn on the big screen, that's gonna be awesome. But for me, like Harley Quinn was always that voice from the animated series, that attitude, that voice, and it was like, is she gonna try? So the first hesitation before the previews was like, is she gonna try to do the voice? That annoying little voice. I kind of want her to try, but then again, she could totally destroy it, and then I'll be really mad. And now you're seeing the preview, and it's like, okay, she's not at all. So like for me, I don't know, just a fan of the animated series,
of course.
And even when I read the comics, I just put that voice when I read the comics, you know. So like I already know I'm gonna be a little bit of a grouch when I watch, because I'm just like, but she's not saying pud. You know, but she's not doing it right. Like the look is cool. I kind of like what they did with her more than they did with Joker.
Yeah,
some of Joker's.
Yeah,
I know, like the mouth tattooed on his arm. I'm not sure what that's all about.
I don't know why he has tattoos.
The tattoos I kind of get, like even the ha-ha-ha's bit, like, or if he carved on himself, maybe.
Yeah,
you know, the
that would kind of make sense.
That would make sense, but yeah, like I don't know, smiling mouth on my arm. I don't know what that's all about.
I'm just saying. Tara Strong, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why I said Reed.
Like, when did Tara Reed?
Yeah.
When did that happen?
Tara, who voiced Harley Quinn in the original show. Not only is she obviously sound like her, physically.
Why not?
She
cosplayed as her at San Diego Comic-Con, and I mean... You didn't know it was her. She pulled off an amazing Harley Quinn physically, and then she spoke, and you were like,
"Oh my god!
You came out of my television!
Oh my god!
You escaped!
You're real!" That would freak anybody out, though. Can you imagine walking at Comic-Con, and then all of a sudden she walks up, starts talking to you?
It's like,
that would be cool. On that note, you guys heard how Jared Leto came up with his laugh. That story. So he just like walk around in public and just like laugh at people in different ways and see which got like the weirdest reaction. And I'm like, that's dedication. And it would weird me out. But I was like, that's. I'm just gonna look like a fool. I'm just gonna walk out and try to creep people out and see what works. You know, that's very cool.
I'll say this: I'm legitimately worried for him because the last time anybody got this deep into the Joker's mentality didn't end so well.
Yeah,
God rest his soul. So I'm legitimately a little bit worried about him. He even gave his co-stars gifts.
Yeah.
Yes.
Off
creepy
camera.
Gifts. Yeah.
Used condoms. Dog poop. His poop. I'm not joking. It got weirder, and this is a clean podcast, so we're going to try to keep it clean.
But yeah, he went really deep into that character, and I mean, if this is the Joker that he's trying to portray, then maybe for his character it'll work. But I mean, the fans will have their say very soon.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Like, I also think since Heath Ledger did his Joker, everyone was scared to touch it.
Right.
You know, definitely scared to touch it because it was just like, I'm not going to do as good as him. And Leto's definitely a different look at it, but I'm actually really excited, minus the makeup. I'm not about the makeup, but his attitude and everything, approaching it and seeing what we saw in the previews, I think he's actually going to do a really good job. I'm really excited for that part.
I think you will too. And you look at it, you look at the history of the Joker animated wise.
Mm-hmm.
Tons of different Jokers.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, Mark Hamill is everybody's favorite. We can kind of establish that. But there's been about 6 other actors, I believe, that have portrayed the Joker in animated film or TV series or what have you, and they all bring something different to the table. They all have a different twist, but the underlying Joker is always there. He's insane.
Yep.
There is no sanity left in that brain.
Oh yeah.
And that is consistent, and that is what makes that character kind of versatile, I believe. So
And it'd be
excited.
cool to see if he continues it too. Yeah. Because it won't be a one movie thing where like, oh, we got our awesome Joker and then we had to wait forever. So I mean, if we get to see him again too, that'll be even better.
I really hope I'm not jinxing it. I haven't watched the movie. I really hope they don't kill him. Because if they kill him, if they kill him off,
I don't think they can either. I mean,
I don't think you can either.
No.
Just looking at Joker's like one of those guys that you could probably get away with killing just about anybody.
Yeah.
Joker, you can't. Joker's always that guy. Batman's always just conflicted about. You know, we always got to let him live, even if that's his part in Suicide Squad, where they've got him like dead to rights, and Batman steps in and says, "You can't do this." You know, I'm gonna be that spoil sport. Sorry.
Yeah.
But he's not, because we get to keep the Joker.
Yeah. So I'm excited to see it. So hopefully, please be better. 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 Please.
It has to be better.
Nerdy gods, please. But Adam, thank you so much for coming in and
Thank you for having me.
Sharing this book with us, because it really is a good book and it's very well written. It's the thing that I liked about it is you guys clearly didn't pick up a thesaurus and then go, let's replace a random word.
Are you listening, Matt?
Bam.
Are you listening, Matt?
Bam.
I don't know if that was an issue between you guys, but that wasn't solicited at all.
I just want to put the word out there. Rivulet. That was an argument. That was an argument.
Oh.
But no, I'm glad, because like that was one of our things, was like we don't want to be those guys, that high fantasy kind of stuff too, where it's just like we're gonna be obnoxious with
Let's just put in words
the
no one knows.
overtelling and look, I have an Oxford dictionary. Look what I found today.
You took the dictionary and the thesaurus and you defenestrated the hell out of it. See,
Defenestrated
that's
the
a great
hell out of
example.
Big word.
That's
Big
a great
word.
example. Defenestration or throw it out the window. You say throw it out the window. A normal person says that. They don't go,
I'm going to defenestrate you.
I want to take Norman's face and just defenestrate the hell out of it, because that would be great.
Just my face.
Just want to throw his face out the window is what you would say.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I love that word. It's probably my favorite word, because it's a really fancy way to say
It's
something
my
really
new word.
violent.
It's my new word.
By the way, thank you, Greg Wiseman, for introducing me to that word through Spectacular Spider-Man. Go watch that show. Great show. But yeah, thank you so much for coming in. And you can go to barnesandnoble.com in order to get the book.
Mm-hmm.
Come to Barnes & Noble next Saturday, the 13th.
13th.
And
from 2 to 4.
Come and meet Adam and get his signature on this book. And actually have him write to so-and-so. Don't get him to sign it and then resell on eBay.
Yeah,
Right?
that's not cool.
You bastards.
Don't be a jerk.
You bastards.
Don't be a
Don't
jerk.
do that. So, Thank you for coming in. Nerdgasm episode number 77 in the books. I'm Alan Bailey.
Stormin Norman.
He's Adam.
I'm Adam.
See you, nerds.
Go away, fat man.